What is going on, guys? The Inside the Loop podcast, and today we're talking about Week 2, the Giants against the Cowboys, and the Giants' unfortunate 40-37 loss in overtime. Did not expect this game to come anywhere close to overtime, and this is just another frustrating loss, a game that the Giants could have won. I mean, that is just what's so frustrating about these losses, is that the Giants continue to find ways to lose football games, and that's what bad teams do. That is what bad and unprepared teams do. Giants, I mean, they start off 6-0, right? Two field goals, and obviously you'd like a touchdown on at least one of those, which has been the issue with this offense, right? The thing is with this team is that they're allergic to scoring touchdowns, except for this game. I mean, they had a bunch of touchdowns. Wan'Dale gets one, Cam Skattebo gets one, Malik Nabers gets two. I mean, all sorts of touchdowns today for the New York Giants, but you want to start games with a touchdown, right? I get it, field goals and all of that, but I think Giants fans are tired of the same old field goal, and then we don't score for another 10 or so minutes, and then they end up losing because they get behind the 8 ball and can't score because they only could score from field goals. This game was a little bit different. Both defenses, you allow, 40 points and 37 points. No defensive coordinator is not going to like those performances. But from the New York Giants standpoint, they lose another winnable game, and that's what I'm trying to get at is, honestly, you could say in an alternate universe, the Giants could be starting 2-0. If they had the performance that they had today, I believe they honestly have a decent chance of beating Washington in Week 1. And I'm not trying to sound delusional and say, they could start 2-0. Of course they could. But it's honestly, I don't think it's that unrealistic. I mean, the Dallas game, Dallas gave you how many chances to win this football game? Even in overtime. I mean, you get the football and then Russell Wilson just arm punts it to one of the Dallas defenders, and Malik Nabers isn't there, and it's not Malik Nabers' fault. It's kind of like an arm punt, like I said, and it's intercepted in overtime, and then Dallas comes back, and Brandon Aubrey, player of the game, by the way, 100%. I mean, the 64-yard field goal to tie it at 37-37 was unbelievable. He is unbelievable, I tell you what. When you are 60 yards out, I think any person is taking Brandon Aubrey to make that kick. And it makes sense. I mean, he's really good. And the problem is with that situation, not only that, just leading up to the situation to kick the field goal to tie it at 37, the soft coverage from Shane Bowen was bad. Shane Bowen has shown time and time again that he cannot use this defense correctly. The personnel is not bad. I'm going to say that right now. It's just how they're schemed, right? They're very soft, and it's very soft coverages that allow big runs and big-time passing plays. I mean, there was a time, what was it, 2nd and 19 or something like that, and then they get it to just 3rd and, short, or just off a run play. I mean, that can't happen, right? Your tackling has to be better. Coverage has to be better. Getting to the quarterback needs to be better in all sorts of ways. But the Giants did end up getting to Dak Prescott. Brian Burns had a sack and a bunch of other stuff. But I'm tired of seeing how Shane Bowen uses Abdul Carter. I am. Abdul Carter needs to be placed in better spots for his success, and Shane Bowen doesn't do that. I get it. Did Abdul Carter have the best game? No, but I also think that starts with how you place him, right? And just getting more into that. I mean, I thought Kayvon had a good game. I thought Brian Burns, obviously, but you want all the big four with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon, and Abdul to have really good games. And I think that this game, a lot of them had good games. Dexter Lawrence is going to get double teamed, so I mean, what are you really going to expect there? And then Abdul Carter is just misplaced. And that starts with Shane Bowen, honestly. I know Abdul Carter can win one-on-one battles. We have seen that before. But this was a frustrating loss. The offense looked good overall, and that was definitely something that I believe we highlighted in the preview podcast, that you got to score touchdowns to win a football game. And the Giants gave them a chance to win. They lost the lead. They came back. which I do appreciate them coming back and not just letting Dallas take over completely. And then they end up losing in overtime by a game-winning field goal. So, like I said, this was a winnable football game, and now the schedule gets tougher. The Chiefs did lose today, so it's 2-0-2 teams heading for a primetime game at MetLife for the Giants to kick off their home opener. It's tough. Obviously the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They lost to the Eagles 20-17 today. And they are banged up in a few ways, and obviously, you'd like to take advantage of that for the Giants' perspective, but I really don't like it. This game is just, the more I look at it, the more I'm going to get frustrated at it. Wanda Robinson, Malik Neighbors, fantastic games, 100+ receiving yards, both had touchdowns. Malik Neighbors, I tell you what, that first touchdown pass, oh my gosh. I'm wearing his jersey right now. I don't know if you guys can see it, number 1, but I'm a big fan of Malik Neighbors. I love the draft pick. This is the guy that we drafted, a guy that makes impact plays, is clutch, and they needed a quarterback that can sling it. And Russell Wilson still has that deep ball. He still has a good arm. There are some decisions that obviously aren't good, but you can't blame Russell Wilson for this loss. It's very frustrating how the Giants did lose today, and what happens week 3? What happens week 4? Do they start 0-4? Do they maybe win one of those games? So, some other bad. James Hudson was terrible. That he deserved to be benched. They gave him a drive, got 4 penalties, 4 costly penalties, a ton of good plays too. The Wando play, Tyrone Tracy play, then he's jumping up off sides and false start. You paid the guy a decent amount of money. Now he's gonna ride your bench. That's another bad sign, man. Deonte Banks, he traveled, played a bit, didn't look like he wanted to be there. That's a first-round pick. Jalen Hyatt didn't see the field today. So, all of this, Darius Slayton had a better game today. Theo Johnson caught the football. And, Marcus Bowell came in and played very good, in my opinion. The offense overall improved when James Hudson took a step on the bench. And the fact that he was barking at Brian Daboll that he got benched tells me everything about James Hudson. Crybaby. Unacceptable. Awful performance today. That can't happen, If we're going to pay you the dollars that we paid you, we expect much better football out of you. And that's just another bad move. Bad move after bad move. And probably could use that money in maybe some other spots or just a different player. But, Jackson Dart didn't play that much, which I didn't expect him to play at all. But he did have some snaps. Had a run that went for negative yards, and then he gave the ball to Scat, who had a great game. And I do want to talk about Cam Scatterboo and the running back room, because I do believe, honestly, in my opinion, I don't know if it's a prediction or all of that, but I honestly could see Cam Scatterboo potentially taking way more snaps than potentially Tyrone Tracy. I do think it's still 1A, 1B, and Cam Scatterboo is still 1B. But, with how they used him today, you honestly maybe question what week 3 looks like of how they use Cam Scatterboo and Tyrone Tracy. Now, I will say this, when it comes to the passing game, I would rather probably have Tyrone Tracy, because he was a former receiver, then translated to a running back, and now he's a running back full time. But there were some positives, right? I do take some positives out of this game. I think Andrew Phillips looked good. Obviously, some up and downs, but way more ups and downs. Offensive line looked better. Russell Wilson looked way more comfortable in the pocket, so that's another plus heading into week 3. Wide receivers took a big step up. Like I said, Wanda Robinson, Darius Slayton looked better with some deep ball catching. And then Malik Neighbors was all over the field today. But, some negatives too, obviously. You allowed 40 points. It was a not great game coverage-wise. But I also do believe that does start with Shane Bowen. He has been awful once again. Like I said, I wanted this guy fired. Obviously, it was never going to happen. But I wanted him fired from the Week 2 game where the Giants lost 21-18 and allowed 7 field goals and lost the football game. I guess just to wrap it up with Brian Daboll, his seat is only getting hotter. But I also do understand that the market for head coaches isn't very strong. The only guy that I could actually see that could hit the open market is Mike McDaniels from the Miami Dolphins, and I want no part of Mike McDaniels of the Miami Dolphins or their GM, to be totally honest. I'd rather have Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. I know it's crazy to say because their track record has not been good, but they are remaining, competitive, right? If they remain competitive and they show signs, they're going to be brought back next year. And also, you just traded up for Jackson Dart, and it wouldn't be really a good look to trade up for Jackson Dart, immediately fire Brian Daboll, and then the new regime, what if they don't like Jackson Dart? Then it's another crap situation there. So, the Giants have a lot of work to do, a lot of film that needs to be broken down, a lot of, things that need to be cleaned up, right? Definitely a loss, but with some positives, right? With the Commanders game, there weren't really any positives, right? You scored 6 points, offense was dead, offensive line was dead, you got beat up. This game, things got better, play calling got better for Mike Kafka. I do think he called a much better football game. Obviously, was testing out Wanda Robinson as a deep threat. That's definitely something that I like to see, not just being a drag route, check down, curl route, all that type of stuff, comeback route, all that. If he can unlock that deep run trait, which I honestly think he did today, it's very good for this future of this Giants offense, right? Trying to think anything else, really. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, of course, on the road to 400 subscribers. But I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the game. And also, leave a like, leave a follow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.